Back again, live from the kitchen.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's good, everybody?
Rest in peace, DMX.
For sure.
Pretty sad, man. Pretty sad. We still shout out to those grieving. You know what I'm saying? His family, those who really got a chance to know him and meet him and get the experience, the good energy that he was. You know, outside of blessing us with music and being a movie icon. Like I love Cradle to the Grave. You know, we were saying off camera and I said on camera. F Rotten Tomatoes. Y'all got a movie of 26.
I googled that shit.
DMX was an icon, and one of my favorite videos of him is just being in a crowd of like 400,000 people at that concert. I know everybody's seen the video that y'all know. And
that's how we performed.
Inspired the whole world just by being yourself.
Woodstock 99.
Like, come on, man. He's like, fighting addiction, and just he lived a full life. And I know he's a happier place, so we definitely want to salute him on this spot.
Sure.
All right. Let's get to school.
Yeah, man. School is in session right now, man. There's no spring break. There's no summer break lurking for us. But I want to take this time to thank everyone on the podcast and those that listen. To Schooling with Sheedy and the podcast itself, LBR, because in the moment we're going to be expanding a little bit further in Schooling with Sheedy, but its own, piece under the LBR umbrella. It's like the Def Jam umbrella, if you ask me, because we're coming for everything that we deserve to have, and then some. So, matter of fact, let's go and get started with today. I want to share my screen with you all. Hopefully you guys can see it. I made sure there's nothing else egregious up there as well, I hope. And to my PowerPoint.
It's break, bro. We on break. Why are we in school? We got a whole problem.
There is no break, man. Schooling always happens, man. So again, this is we underneath the Def Jam umbrella, man, which is Let's Be Real Media, Def Jam umbrella, if you ask me. And so Let's Be Real Media. What we got so far, man? We got the Tighten Up podcast, man. We got the IDK Sports. We got Let's Be Real, and of course, there are more of us coming soon to this, but coming real soon in this month. Dropping Schooling with Sheedy, man. Hopefully y'all like with a good brother of mine. His name is Santana Silas. He's Art of Space Graphics, man. And for all of your graphic needs and concerns, please make sure you message him. He takes care of you. He's taking care of us the entire time. But as you can see, we'll be talking about more than just sports. You see the money up there, degrees, family. You see the watch, the ring. This is me. It looks like, right?
It looks just like you.
We'll definitely be taking off, man. And as we continue with this, some topics that we've covered, man. We've done women's rights. We've done education in African Americans and secondary education. Making me a Memphian, right? Which is really how this kind of started. We've done presidential debates and, of course, Black Lives Matter. Before I do want to ask the brothers here and just even the audience, what have been your best parts so far with Schooling with Sheedy? But one thing I do want to mention, because we weren't able to close out with women's rights, was something that was very important for me to cover. That's kind of sports related, but more or less geared towards women and African American women. And this is image here. This is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
Yes, sir.
These are two African American women that actually headlined WrestleMania, a sport that is mostly dominated and has been dominated by white men and highlighted by white men in those arenas or even in the main events. It is great to see last night two Black women fighting for a title. I'm not going to go over the winner just in case someone has not had a chance to see that yet. But kudos to these women for really taking center stage last night and putting on a great performance that was needed, much needed as well for us. I'm gonna stop share here now. So leads me to now our part. I just want to hear from the guys, like, what's been your favorite part so far with schooling with Sheedy? So you think about going all the way back to like being on time, right? Which was a funny topic, or me just learning different words, or just even like going through the Black Lives movement that we've done, women's rights, the presidential debates, even talking about different policies that we've had in place that we should probably vote for. And so I'll keep the order that's on the screen. So I'll go Took, then Savage and Trevor, and then if we get Sharky back, Sharky as well. So go ahead, Took.
I think my favorite segment so far, and just going back to the first, it's probably the making Sheedy a Memphian, right? Like we, you know what I'm saying, you came into our potting lives, right? And just like, hey, let's see what this guy, is like. And then like damn near 2 years later, like you're a part of all our family. Like young Aiden is a little homie to me, man. And it started from, making you a Memphian. I think this podcast has done a great job of embodying just the spirit of Memphis, of just being welcoming and being real. And I think that we've been able to do that, to a point where it's like we're here now. Yep, Gary. Cool. Yep.
I can hear you.
Okay, do y'all hear me finish? I don't know what happened.
Nah, I missed it. I missed the end of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry,
No, I'm saying, like just saying, like us welcoming you and you like starting out teaching you how to be a Memphian to now you saying you doing your own podcast now, which I'm definitely looking forward to. It is seeing all of our growth for sure, but you like to steal the baby of the family. It's so fun seeing you grow. Like, you've been killing it with the content, bro. You've been helping us expand, outside of sports, which is something that we, of course, been needing, us being a sports podcast. But at first, we're Black men, and I think for us to educate our, brothers and sisters and still talk about sports, it is just the beginning. So kudos to you.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yes. Honestly, I cannot pick a favorite segment from Schooling with Sheedy, as I've enjoyed like every single part of it since its inception. So kudos to you for that. Kudos to you for taking Schooling with Sheedy and just expanding upon that. We talk a lot here on Let's Be Real about how much we can't stand First Take and things of that nature, because with the serious topics that we feel should be addressed, they only address it on the surface level. And even then, it's like they're not completely knowledgeable as to what may be going on, whether it be something that's going on nationwide or in a specific state. If that incident that it was statewide just makes it to national news, things of that nature. So kudos to Sheedy and the rest of us for just being allowed to dive in a little bit to actually explain and go over what exactly is going on, like the importance of voting, the importance of local and state voting, as opposed to just voting in the presidential election. So again, man, kudos to you, and looking forward to possibly joining you one of these days to have a nice, intelligent conversation. So, right? Kudos.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I forget when we met Sheedy. I don't know if that was 2012, 2013, but I mean, Sheedy always been Coach Spo to me, because he's just like the father figure in the room that somehow knows everything. And personally, I mean, I like to think that I'm well read and and well watched and things like that. But Sheedy is like you like that dude when it comes to this information. And I feel like I learned something new every single time we got Schooling with Sheedy. Call me the nerd of the classroom. I'm at the front with my pencil. They're on time. Even though Took, he late to class all the time. It's cool.
Mission gets stitches. Keep on. Keep on. You're gonna be crying.
I'm just in the second row, like,
come on, Michael Rappaport.
What's going on?
That man called me Mike Rappaport. Oh my God. But yeah, man. I really enjoy everything, but I definitely enjoy, learn about what we can do as men to protect our Black queens. As somebody who has a Black queen and has a Black queen on the way, like for me, that's really been the most important thing that I've learned from schooling with Sheedy, and even with like this month. Was it this month? Last month was women's rights month, something like that. Last month,
in March, yeah.
Yeah, so and that's kind of been helpful, for processing, everything, along with, getting Sheedy to be a Memphian. He's been here for like 10 years. He still got a long way to go. So yeah, I'm excited. And like Trevor, man, like I'm ready to hop on whenever the time comes. So I'm with it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Sharky, anything?
Man, I like to shed a tear, man.
Oh man, yeah, I see.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man. Just everything. My favorite topics covered. I mean, it's hard to pick. Everything was great. I'd probably say, because I didn't really pay attention in history class, didn't care for history class. All the history lessons you taught us, House of Representatives, giving us those little quizzes talking about, hey, say, whatever number, say 5-2, hold up 5-2, all day. Like, man, it was, yeah, I would say those are probably my absolute favorites, but can't go wrong with anything. Love to teach you how to be a Memphian. Still got a ways to go in that department. We'll probably bringing that back. She just going to a podcast, but hey, you're a Memphian in my book. We still gonna debate about Rotel, but
cheese dip.
Well, that's when he 100% in my book. When he called Rotel, that's 100%.
Well, like I said, man, proud of you. Can't wait to see what the podcast grows to be. And like I said, I'm here for anything you need me. You come on, anything. We out here.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you all. Still a long way to go to be a Memphian. Barely got my license anyway. Here and still hate MLGW, but I think that's being a part of Memphis is hating MLGW, right?
Yes, sir.
And the potholes that are here. So like first, if we think about, and thank you too for bringing this up. You think about how this all began, right? This really began with me coming on 2 years ago, in 2019, 2 months or 3 months from here, and just talking about the Heat. And that was right before Jimmy Butler came to the Miami Heat. And thus, you guys just gave me a platform to be here and do actually what I went to college to do and wanted to do. And when I was in college, I would talk live sports. But we understood that there was a need as well, not just to talk about sports, but to talk about things that are happening within our country. And to hear how many people have really bought into what we've done, right? I talked to some friends. I have a friend in Indianapolis who listens to this. His name is Rick Anderson. He said the part that we talked about, to your point, Savage, about protecting our Black queens and talking about depression. Like, he had a partner that actually killed himself because he was depressed. He's like, we don't talk about it enough. He was glad to hear it from my show, or from our show, I should say, in that aspect. So let's be real. It's more than just sports. And I want to make sure that we're all clear about that. We are a band of brothers, first and foremost, that are going to be real with you at all times. And if the times call for us not to talk about sports, if it comes time for us to talk about what's going on in Black America, like how this Black Marshal got pulled, well, not Black Marshal, but Black
Lieutenant,
excuse me, thank you, got pulled over and maced and pepper sprayed for irrelevant reasons. Trust me, Schooling with Sheedy is going to bring that topic to light and have that discussed. But I want to thank you all for allowing me this platform. Again, now we're going to take this to a podcast. It'll be more of a bi-weekly podcast unless things pick up, and then we'll go more weekly from there. Until then, I do need to learn how to be a Memphian a little bit more. And so I have some more Rotel to dig into with some more honey hot and honey gold wings as well. With that said, the more you listen, the more you know. The more you know, the more you grow. It's your boy, Sheedy. Class dismissed.
Cool.
So,
My man, I have a whole. Hey, I got to link up with that cartoon guy. He that's dope.
Yeah, and trust and believe, y'all all gonna come on the show. I mean, it's not even gonna.
I'm just waiting for the bets to go at 9 o'clock at night.
I'm just waiting. Yeah, I need to reach out to Santana too because I need one for the Steelers pod that's coming up soon. So I'll be reaching out to Santana soon.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir.
Shout out to Santana. Shout out to Honey Tuke in Phoenix. Got your honey gold out there now.
Look, man, shout out to my guy. I've known since high school. He got a food truck out here. They like legit honey gold sauce. You know, that's the only thing that I ain't had out here. Good wings, good Kool-Aid with none of it. Honey gold, man. Thank you, God. I legit had to tear my eye. No cap.
I saw that post. I was like, that's pure black boy joy. Everybody.
That's all what it is.
He needed that after that Joe Taylor and Franklin Saint.
You wrong.
And what's bad about it is because no cap, like any actor that inspires me the way that Franklin does is like, that's my guy. I love like low key, ain't gotta yell, but he gets shit done. Like Franklin to me is like that guy. But then
you sound like Riley from the Boondocks right now. Hey, if you lost your girl to T.I., hey, that's T.I.
Hey, I saw that too, and I was like, wait, that's real?
He got more money than me. I mean, you know, he got more money than me.
He's doing his thing though, like real talk.
He gonna get in trouble though. He gonna phone the bag again. He gonna phone the bag like that. I'll be right here for you, baby. I got you.
Better yet, Joe Taylor better not do nothing wrong like T.
How long you been playing me, Joy?
Spoiler alert. Episode.
If you ain't been watching Snowfall, I'm gonna need y'all to get on there.
I'm so happy y'all caught up. I'm so happy y'all caught up, man.
Yeah, man. I had to start a show recap podcast.
Right.
I slick thought about that real talk because I've been digging deep into these Disney Plus Marvel joints because I'm watching Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. So I've been thinking about that. Like seriously.
I have to do that too. One last thing before we move on. Netflix came out with this short film with Joey Badass, Two Distant Strangers. Back to that point about the lieutenant. That was it was like 30 minutes. Short film. Great plot. It's basically the police killing, but it's like he was like a time loop, but he had to keep going through the same thing over and over again. Every time he got shot, he woke back up and had to go through it again. So like it was great, man. Everybody should check that one out.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Great message too. It was real good. But all right, let's get it home. Let's be real about the truth. Once again,
truth got set free.
Which is
apparently.
Well, that's the truth. 315 said, "I'm fired." That's what it said.
As y'all heard from the intro, rest in peace, DMX. He was the truth, man. Legendary icon. We mentioned Paul Pierce later on in this podcast, so that was part of the truth. And the truth in this college basketball national championships last week.
Yeah, man. So we had two ends of the spectrum with the national championship games. So on one end with the women, you had Stanford overcoming Arizona's, bid to try to win a national championship as a 3 seed. Stanford won in a tight game, 54-53. The women's Final Four in general was just good. Like it was just good basketball all the way around in the Final Four for the women. But on the other side, we had to be honest, a shellacking of and in my opinion, that of of what that game was. Really, Baylor never struggled at all in that game. So in the order on the screen, what are you guys' thoughts on those national championships that occurred earlier in the week?
Yeah, like you said, the men's game was just lopsided. Once Baylor got off, it was like you couldn't expect them to like get back in the game, right? So it's like once Baylor took off, boom, that was nothing left. So shout out to Baylor for winning. I know that was like a lot of people said the 3 guards is going to kill Gonzaga, and they did. They've been doing the whole thing all season. So salute to them. The women's game, of course, I wanted Arizona to win. Just pure biasness, but that was a real closer, good game. Really would have preferred for both games to be like that, but of course, y'all said, the girls' basketball games are a lot more fun to watch at this point, and the championship for both games proved it. So, salute to them.
Good games, or the good game, the girls' game, very good. Stanford looked like they're trying to run away with it. Arizona made a comeback. And I hit the girl. She had the girl open too, but she couldn't see her, man. They
triple team us.
That last play, God dog. So they lost to Stanford 3 times this season. So man, tough ending, but great game. They got theirs 3 seed. So shout out to Arizona. Stanford first championship since 1992.
Long time.
Like I can't believe it. They feel like they won since then, but yeah, and that's the same coach. So hey, shout out. I mean, first title since 92, and she stuck with it, man. So salute. Now I can't think of her name right off the top of my head right now. But
which one from Arizona?
Stanford's coach.
I forgot her name. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah. But the Baylor Gonzaga game, it was blowout, but it still was interesting to watch. Reason why Gonzaga's undefeated, and you thinking they can come in. Now, I ain't gonna say I thought they were gonna blow. I didn't think they were gonna blow out Baylor. I thought it was gonna be a good game. They both been the best 2 teams. Baylor very well could have been undefeated. They had the COVID pause. They were undefeated before the COVID pause. Then they lost 2 games after they came back. So they very well could have been 2 undefeated teams playing against each other. So Baylor was every bit as good as Gonzaga, if not, and as championship game proved, better in that one night. Couldn't miss. And it's just the ultimate Mount Moriah precinct. You go back to Texas Western when they beat Kentucky 5 black guys versus 5 white guys. That's what it felt like in there. Although,
yeah,
not going wrong
because that ain't all white, but I mean, the best players not white, but most of the teams still. So that's basically what the game was. But so salute to Scott Drew, man. I referenced this on Twitter. Man, he took over a program. They had one player murdered his teammate. Like, keep this in mind. Baylor was that bad of a program that a player murdered his teammate, and they had all these recruiting sanctions and everything that followed this. So when Scott Drew took that job, that was literally the worst job probably ever to take outside of the death penalty with SMU and football back in the 80s. So Scott Drew to bring that program all the way out the dumps in 15, 16, 17 years. So salute.
Yeah. Let's talk about the women first, because there's our artist.
Hey, Santana, I'm gonna need that Steelers logo soon, man. We gonna link up soon. We'll be talking soon.
Yeah. So first of all, kudos to Tukari talked about, like, the women's Final Four was more popping, so to speak, right? It was more excitement because Stanford won 2 games by 2 points combined. Like that's what it came down to. Or 2 possessions, I should say. And they only really outscored Arizona in the first quarter of that game. Speaking of which, men's NCAA, you should probably think about going to quarters instead of halves, by the way. It makes for more exciting basketball, but I digress. Always women leading the charge. And shout out to Mrs. Jones. She played 32 minutes, had 17 points, 8 rebounds. There was another girl, I think, played all 40 minutes. For Stanford. I didn't get her name, unfortunately, but kudos to those women in those games. Again, 2 games, 2 possessions, and they did what they had to do. As we look over to the men's side, I don't want to give kudos to Baylor or Gonzaga yet. Hear me out. I want to give kudos to Cade Cunningham. The reason why I'm going to give kudos to Cade Cunningham is Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State beat Baylor during the Big 12 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor took that personal. And Baylor took it so personal that they beat every team after that. Because all these teams out of this went into, this round of 64, which includes the Zags, Houston, Villanova, Wisconsin, Hartford, and Arkansas. Arkansas is the only team that only lost by 9 points. Everyone else got blew out. So shout out to you, Cunningham, for putting that back on Baylor like that. And the only other loss that Baylor had was against Bill Self, who is now in Kansas, if we well know who that is, who is now a lifetime partner with Kansas, a lifetime coach. So, I mean, this team was destined to win this thing, and Cade really put it on them to, like, hey, we about to beat everybody and show them why we're the best team in the nation. So shout out to them and shout out to him for that. A lottery pick, by the way.
Oh yeah, number 1 pick in the draft. For those that don't know, I'll start with the women as well. Kudos to Stanford for a amazing against Arizona. As Sharky mentioned before, Stanford, this is their first title since '92, and Stanford has been one of those programs that's kind of always been in the running for a national championship on the women's side, but it just seems like they always ran into the juggernauts of the time, whether it was Tennessee in their glory days, UConn, Baylor, Notre Dame when they had their time as well. So kudos to Stanford for that. All around, the women's tournament has been, for the most part, a little bit better than the men's, and I think it's just more so how the game is structured. And I think my fellow brother, if he was on, would probably bring light to this about how the women's game is broken up and is played in 4 quarters with a shot clock, as opposed to the men's tournament, where it's 2 halves of 20 minutes and you have a commercial break, especially during a tournament, a commercial break literally every 3 minutes, which I still don't understand. I get it. You got to pay your bills, but that kind of disturbs the flow of the game a little bit for me. On the men's side, I kind of had this feeling this was going to happen to Gonzaga because something was telling me Jalen Suggs is going to pick up 2 early fouls. He's going to have to sit a while, and then Baylor's just going to go on a run. And that literally is exactly what happened. The great Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And Gonzaga got punched in the mouth at that standing 8 count because, let's be real, Baylor should have blew these folks right out of the building in the first half. So kudos to Baylor. Kudos to Scott Drew. We just talked about the whole situation of him taking over at Baylor. Shout out to all the talent that has come out of Baylor's during his tenure. So this is kind of like his coronation, if you will, similar to Jay Wright when he finally broke through for Villanova the first time when they beat North Carolina. So kudos to Baylor. Kudos to Stanford.
And real quick before we wrap up this segment, like everybody's mentioned, shout out to the women for having overall just a great tournament. More times than not, the women's tournament and the men's tournament is kind of like in reverse, where the women's tournament is not as good at the beginning of the tournament because the teams are so dominant. Like nobody's beating UConn, nobody's beating Baylor, nobody's beating Stanford. This is not going to happen. But later on, that's when you see a little bit more competitive. Men's side is typically way better at the beginning because the games are more evenly matched, and then it gets a little bit more defined towards the end, where it's like, okay, this is not going to be as good as we thought it was going to be. So that's one thing. 2, shout out to just women's basketball in general. I'm like becoming a huge advocate for the women's game more and more. The game is getting much better. Like it's overall the talent is catching up, not even at these blue blood schools, but at these smaller schools as well too. So shout out to the women's game for improving. Shout out to everybody that's been advocating for the women's game. And also one more quick shout out to the WNBA for their new jerseys. I said it on Twitter. I'm gonna say it again. Marketing has been on point with the women's game. They have done a great job of getting the game out there to not even just women viewers, but male viewers as well too. So shout out to just the women's game of basketball.
Yep, salute. So as we move from college basketball, we remain there, but we go to the Memphis Tigers. A lot of news this week, a lot of roster turnover. But let's start off with Musa Cisse declaring for the draft. He did not sign the agent, though, so he has the capacity to come back to school. But I don't know if Penny will even have a scholarship available whenever he decides that, because he's moving forward. He went and got Earl Timberlake, former top 30 recruit, top 35 recruit from Miami, University of Miami. Played 7 games last year, averaged 9 points. So 6'6", 215 pounds, wing. They had just got Davion Warren from Hampton, who averaged 21 points a game, 6'6" as well. So 2 large wings, and he has officially offered scholarships to the Lawson brothers, Chandler Lawson and Jonathan Lawson. So the potential of them, I think they're making a decision soon on by Tuesday. So we'll know if the Lawsons are returning to Memphis. And as it's been said on Jason and John, Keaton Lawson came on the show. He did confirm that Penny and them, they had a 2-hour Zoom call with them as well with Memphis. And Keaton Lawson's biggest problem was Tom Bowen, and Tom Bowen is gone. So we'll have an answer about the Lawsons on Tuesday, probably Tuesday. So what y'all thoughts on this week about the overreactions turned to now feeling positive about the program again? So same order. I'll go ahead and speak since my guy, brother Scholar's not here. We told y'all just relax, just chill. The bridge is still connected, y'all. Just chill. It's a little traffic, but just chill. Hold on, like we good. And I think that the first signing of Timberlake was just that, like a kid from Miami, once top 30. Like I think injuries played a part in his ability, and like we all say on here, like the best ability is availability. So I think Penny got a good kid, especially once on the court. But at the same time, this is what we said, like he's going to recruit kids that want to go to the league, that want to be NBA rated, that wants to know what it feels like to be coached by an NBA player. And I think that us winning in the NIT, even though it's the NIT, hell, we won it. You know what I'm saying? That is a good foundation for where we can go next. So I think that will appeal to a lot of students in the transfer portal. And I also think it'll give us a good look of like Penny will be able to get like certain needs, boom, boom. It's like free agency. And what better person to know how to deal with free agency than a former NBA player? So salute to Penny for just starting. I would love the Lawsons to come to us. As all of us Memphians would. So we definitely gonna be posting on that one. So yeah.
Yeah. To your point about relaxing, I wish Musa Sensei would have got that message about relaxing, because there's no reason for him to even go ahead and test whatever market he thinks he needs to go to. At 31% shooting free throws, let's say that went up because he went to the NIT and made like 2 out of like 37. So maybe he's at like a 35%. No one's going to pick you up, man. I don't care if you're 7'1" with a huge wingspan. There was no time during that I recall during this Tiger season where it was like, man, Musa dominated. Like I didn't see it. And I might have missed a game or two or a lot of them, but I don't recall us even mentioning how great he was offensively. That's what they're going to be looking for, offense. Can you provide a spark? James Wiseman provided a spark, and that's why he went as high as he went, Musa. You'll be back, but to the point of, will we have a scholarship? No, he might not have a scholarship. You might have to walk on and improve yourself again, whatever it may be. But you definitely ain't ready to be in nobody's NBA. You might be able to go to a G League and possibly do something there. But let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You ain't ready for the league. Now, the relaxing part, talent is always going to find its way where it needs to come. And so we're getting transfers from Hampton with HBCU, which I believe HBCUs don't get enough love and praise for the great sports that they do have. Coming from somebody that is a representative of HBCU, you don't televise games of Hampton versus Howard or Central State versus Kentucky State, right? We don't see those things, but there is some talent that is still around. And actually, I was talking to some guys this morning. We're talking about like JUCO, right? Like junior college players. There are a plethora of great talent within junior colleges that just didn't make it because they got an F or they didn't do well for a year or what have you. But maybe they're getting their resume together and they're ready to transfer over to C-Penny or someone else to get that opportunity, or they have to go and build somewhere else. So this is a great opportunity for others to just get that talent. And I look forward to what Memphis can put together. Penny's problem has never been his recruiting. Penny's name sells itself. So the relaxed part is perfectly fine with me because I'm not worried about the talent. I'm worried about once we get them on the floor, what's going to happen. In big pressure moments, how are we going to, get through that? That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about anyone going to the draft and anyone coming back because I know Penny's going to put as best the talent that he can around him. As we already see, we already have 2 guards that are the same size as he is, pretty much, ready to play and go right into a scoring mode for us. Now, defense, of course, I think we're one of the best defensive teams in the actual nation. I'm not going to say just in the American itself. I believe we're literally one of the best top 10 defenses in the entire nation. So I know that defense is not going to go anywhere because it's a system of defense. So I just look forward to what we can do offensively, to be honest. And hopefully, we're not going to miss as many free throws, whether we have Moose or not.
Yeah, much to Sheedy's point regarding, I just forgot just a quick. Well, anyways, like I said before offline, Musa Cisse is a G League project with the potential to be pretty decent in the NBA if he was to go and stay at this point. I do feel he could use another year at Memphis, but we'll see where that goes. As far as the new transfers are concerned, not really just buying into the overhyping of the transfers. Now, I get it. We talked about with Davion Kansas, like, yeah, he's coming from an HBCU, but he also led his conference in scoring. He was averaging just a little under 22 a game. So somebody that you can go and definitely get a bucket for the Tigers is something that you're going to definitely need if Landers just decides to leave, which I'm pretty sure all of us feel that he's probably going to leave. With Timberlake, I see the potential there, but I think he seems more like of a guy that's going to buy into his role, whatever role that may be for Penny Hardaway, which could be a huge boost for them. And we get another dog, essentially, with Timberlake to kind of go alongside Alex Lomax, who we all know is a dog in his own right. The problem for me, which we say on here is a good problem to have, in a perfect world, if we get these 2 guys and we somehow end up with the Lost brothers as well, how is Penny going to allocate minutes for these guys? Because that's kind of one of the issues that we've had that we've talked about with the Tigers is like Penny will play guys in droves. Like he'll play 10, 11 guys. And then, of course, we all know when it comes down to it, it gets down to the degree. Sometimes you're going to have to shorten their rotation from playing 10 guys to maybe only playing 8 or maybe only playing 9. So that's where my issue is going to lie with the Tigers. Like in the perfect world, if we get all these guys, yeah, we have all this talent, but now how is Penny going to allocate minutes to these guys who, let's be honest, is going to want to showcase themselves to possibly get to the league? So, but again, I'm relaxing as well. I'm just not all the way with the overhyping right now. Just relax right now. Let's see how this all plays out.
Yeah, the thing. Well, I'll just talk about the recruits first. So Timberlake, like Trevor mentioned, I think he's a glue guy. I think he's a guy who's going to know his role as he was a freshman last year. He's going to come in as a sophomore. It's going to be he's not going pro immediately. So I think what Penny is learning based on who he's recruiting. I think this is what he's learning. He's learning that he can tell guys, hey, you might not be a one and done, but you see Precious in the NBA, you see Wiseman in the NBA. You got other players, in my opinion, who are Landers going to the NBA at some point. Just buy in for however long is required, and we're going to get you to the league. But, let's buy into what we doing here at Memphis. And with Timberlake, me and Trevor were tweeting about this during the week. He had, a 5x5 game in college, bro. And what that is at least 5 points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks. That is ridiculous. And so I think he's going to understand his role as being a lockdown defender. And you can make the NBA by playing defense. Look no further than Marcus Smart. Look no further than Tony Allen. Play defense, you're going to get into the league. I'm most excited about Davion Warren. And why do I say that? Like mentioned before, he averaged 22 points in his respective conference. But my favorite thing about him is that right now he is a senior. And when you're a senior, you have your last year got to be your best year if you're trying to go pro. And not only will he be a senior, you got Alo who's going to be a senior. You got DeAndre who's going to be a senior. You got Kenyon who's going to be a junior. You have an older team now that understands hey, if me and you do our job and work together, we're going to have scouts watching us. I mentioned it earlier in the week during the Gonzaga game to not get fooled by these players on these teams, because teams who are playing the Final Four in the championship game always get the most heightened sense of awareness from scouts. Oh, these guys are great because they're in the championship game. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I remember a couple years ago when UConn was making it, they had freaking Hilton Armstrong as a lottery pick, like, and that dude was trash. So, but what that means though is that players can get drafted, you know, by making it far in the tournament. Sharky over here dying laughing.
He was trash in college.
He slick was.
His team made it though. His team made the championship game. So yeah, but beyond that, I think if Penny can get his boys to understand that they'll end up getting drafted at some point, you know, in the NBA draft. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what they do. But I do want to make this note on April 11th at 12:51 p.m. Central Time. Davion Warren averages 75% from the free throw line. Okay, y'all got that right, all right? And Earl Timberlake averages 70% from the free throw line. It better not drop to 50 and 40%. I will be pissed. I will be pissed.
Like it did with DeAndre Williams.
Yes.
He averaged 81 and went down to 69.
Yeah, 69. Come on.
I said this on Starting Five. I think it's the rims at the Forum, though. I think it's the rims at the Forum.
They missing on the road too, though.
So again, for everybody watching,
it's translating.
For everybody watching, hey, Mama Henderson, for everybody watching, 75% for Davion Warren, 75. That's above the Tigers' average, and also even Timberlake, who can't shoot, is shooting above the average. Just so y'all know, just putting it out there.
And Timberlake also had a shoulder injury or something, or elbow. Yeah, and they're hoping he can be back in time for the season.
Shooting? Is it shooting shoulder or non-shooting?
I don't know.
That's why I don't know.
It looked like it on his Johnson. I'm like, ooh, that's on
his shoulder. It looked like it may be a shooting.
Might have to Markel folks.
Yeah.
All right, Took, you had a question?
Yeah, I had a question. So definitely look like once Static, shout out to you, Savage, for bringing up the stats. You said about the 5x5. I'm somebody that really love like somebody that can do it on both ends of the floor, right? To me, especially as a college player, that's, you know, potential way to be untapped, right? So I'm really, really excited to watch Earl Timberlake. So let's say hypothetically we finally get Justin Timberlake to say, I'm gonna pull up to March Madness.
Right.
What are y'all looking forward to the most? And I'll start by saying, honestly, that 5x5 is still looking good to me. Where y'all at with it?
Man, Timberlake didn't want to come to Memphis Madness, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
That's like March Madness. I'm in Memphis Madness. My bad.
We're more inclined to see Earl Timberlake than Justin Timberlake.
I'm just saying. No. I know. Trust me, I know. But I'm saying hypothetically, if tomorrow, Justin Timberlake gonna perform in Memphis Madness, which Timberlake would you be looking forward to seeing the most?
Earl.
Justin. I say Justin.
Because I need to see Justin before. I need to see Justin.
I need to see
before
Justin
I believe
before I can even make a decision.
Crying me river, man.
Hey, shout out to Jason Smith, man.
And let's remind our people that Justin Timberlake is not from Memphis. This guy is he's from Millington, Tennessee. So let's keep it.
That's true too.
Exactly. Even I know that.
Look at you becoming a Memphian.
Right. But man, I need the little ding or the room. Breaking news. Sheedy, former Ohio State Buckeye and former Tennessee Titan Eddie George is the new head coach at Tennessee State University.
Ooh,
I'm ready for the classic, bro. The classic game.
Let's do it.
Game.
Let's be a game.
Okay.
Now,
so I also know people gonna actually go for the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
Besides some fans. After halftime, we're gonna have fans in the stands still.
Exactly.
Now this is not like truly breaking news, but this did happen like earlier, maybe in March, maybe something like that. My athletic director, he's really cool with DRC. If people don't know who DRC is, Dominic Rogers-Cromartie. Dominic Rogers-Cromartie also has been signed to Tennessee State staff as well.
Wow.
So what they doing at TSU right now, sign me up.
That's a response to Prime, though. You know it's a response to
Yeah,
Prime.
This class is gonna be lit.
That's what's up, though. I'm happy
to go back to that one.
I'm happy that HBCU football getting some love, man. I'm so excited about that.
And Prime do not need to play any more Alabama HBCU teams.
No.
Because
Not yet. Get your
Alabama
recruits in. Get your recruits in.
Alabama A&M. Yeah, I think who was that last week? It was Alabama State.
Alabama State.
Last week,
yeah. A&M yesterday.
Relax. Wait about a couple years and get
that's a true relax. Yeah.
His sons will be there this fall.
Right.
All right, Trevor.
Well, from someone who should have relaxed, or probably a little bit too much of it, the reason that this episode is titled The Truth 315, former Celtic great and former ESPN analyst, and I can definitely say former now, Paul Pierce was fired from ESPN due to his risque, if you will, Instagram live post, to which he was having a party at his house with some scantily clad women, if you will. And in the order that it is on the screen, what you guys take? Because I'm pretty sure we all saw the live and everything. So, Paul Pierce, what you guys take?
Man, I knew it was coming. I mean, you can't. I know you can't do that. I mean, let's be real. You can't do that. You can't have strippers and smoking and all the laugh. And I knew it was over with. It's part of me thinks he wanted to be gone, right?
Yep.
You're doing that. You doing that type of stuff. ESPN still has a public persona that has to show any company. I know folks like, ESPN, they let this guy on. He did this. Any company, if I would do a live video to do exactly what he did, I'm gone from my job.
Yep.
So, yeah, can't. Yeah, you just can't do that. And he'll pop back up. You can do that on Fox, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get away with it on Fox.
So he'll pop back up somewhere, but we ain't got to see no more bad takes. So cool.
Right, and like we joked about it last week, me specifically are saying, hey, he's gonna get fired. Like, be ready. Like we pretty much knew that was gonna happen. It is because like that's just corporate America for you. Right? Like you knew damn well what you were doing. You knew what you were doing, and I'm gonna end with that. But I think Paul may have another move coming. If I'm not mistaken, he got offered $250,000 by don't call me, but I think it's like Trill or somebody that's doing like sports analysts or something like that. And their goal is to have like combine the culture and the sport. So they're gonna have like strippers or like dancers in the back. They're gonna have that.
Stop.
No, he had it. But no, they wanted I think it's Trill or somebody. They wanted to add the culture to sports, and they offered Paul not $250,000 to be an analyst for it. But I think for you to do something as stupid as that, like this L of the month material, of course, unless there's a bigger player and a bigger bag that's coming for Paul Pierce. But honestly, I told y'all from the jump he should have been fired when he said he had a better career than Dwayne Wade, or that he was a better shooter than Klay Thompson. Come on, y'all. That's kind of like the game anyway. Like he went from playing on the court, he the truth, but off of he a damn lie. Come on,
hey, kind of like how Ashley got fired from here after saying John Wall's built shooting the Clay.
And y'all notice y'all ain't seen
he's been on since then.
Y'all ain't
He get fired.
Not a lot. He's been on since then. So
man. Shout out to the homie.
Shout out to Ashton. That's
no, we did not fire him.
No, we didn't. We did not. He was not fired. Trust me.
Where to begin with Paul Pierce? It does definitely stem from that kind. I've always had disdain for Paul Pierce. So I'm gonna be honest with you. But first of all, you only have 315 people on your live. That's how popular you are. That's it. That's why it's true 315. Don't please understand. 315 people got on your live.
ESPN saw the real numbers.
Here's the show.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Okay.
It's over right now.
Okay.
My bad. Good resist. My bad.
I think she froze.
Yeah, you made Shitty froze. Like,
Wow, that is crazy.
My bad, Shitty.
hey, Shitty ain't slick. Shitty got the double entendre with the green and white shirt. He ain't slick. I
Right,
like that. I like that.
Beast mode.
Levels.
Green. Come on, man.
It's levels to it. It's levels to it.
All right.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Well, I'll give my take real quick while she makes this way back. As I told a lot of people over Twitter once this happened, like I get it. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But when you're working for the overlord that is Mickey Mouse, that's frowned upon. For those who don't know the overlord, why I call Mickey Mouse the overlord, because ESPN is owned by Disney. Like Disney practically owns everything in the course of entertainment that you watch. Don't believe me? Just go Google it. You'll see for yourself. So, again, that's hilarious. But yeah, again, man, Paul, I think he really wanted to be out of there at some point. I'm actually happy he is. Like we all said, we ain't got to listen to no more ridiculous takes from him. But something else must be in store for him. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on Fox within the next month or so. So it is what it is. But Chidi, if you want to finish your point, since you're back out, kind of open it up and give it back to you on that.
Sorry, Chidi.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I kind of remember. Anyways, speaking of people coming back.
He ain't been in the comments in like 3 months.
I ain't slandering Mickey Mouse. I called him the Overlord for a reason because he owns everything.
This man like Beetlejuice. You call that man now, he popping up, bro.
and he's always on the way.
Right.
So 315 people. That's how many people got him fired. That viewed his live. And when I think about his live, if you're gonna go out, please go out with like a bang, so to speak. I'm not a fan of strippers, but I'll tell you right now, Paul Pierce, those are the strippers you paid to come to your house? Are you serious? I mean, they like if I was to compare what they look like, they got like a D+, maybe a C- as a stripper. And that's who you got throwing, in your face with that. I didn't agree with that. I definitely didn't agree with his haircut. At his age, I don't understand what he's trying to do. Sometimes he's got hair up there, sometimes he does not. Exactly. He's never had a good haircut that I liked, even when he was on the court taking a dump. Never liked it. So to me, I don't want anyone to be unemployed, but I think you guys made the point, like, you knew what you were doing when you were doing this. You have some type of other outlet that you want to go to, and that's fine. I don't understand why you don't work. I feel like the Celtics should give you some type of lifetime job, period. I mean, I am a fan of the game and understand the game, and what you did at Boston was tremendous. Like, you did a lot for the Celtics. So why don't have a lifetime position for you? It's probably because you're black. Because Danny Ainge got a lifetime position.
There it is.
Of course, he put up some money, though, too.
Scalabrine got one.
But no, Robert Parrish ain't got no job there. So, you know what I mean? But that's just what I mean. He shouldn't have done what he did, and the lack of good stripping that I saw was piss poor.
Yeah, Boston didn't even appreciate Bill Russell, so that's kind of that shows you everything. Shout out to my father-in-law because he's always talking about Bill Russell. So if you're watching, what's going on? So, but yeah.
Yeah, man. So Paul Pierce would not have been fired if he wasn't the dumbass actually recording it. Like if somebody else was recording it, it would have been just fine. But you put it on your personal Instagram page as if you're approving of this. And I say that because I know for a fact that Jalen Rose, who works for Mickey Mouse and has been doing so for years, if you are an OG listener to Jalen and Jacoby, I don't even watch the show no more. I watched it way earlier when they first started, when they were working with Grantland and Bill Simmons. Like he had stories about him working, not like being in those kinds of parties as a current worker of ESPN. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know about it because it's a clean cut image on social media. which as a professional you're supposed to. You can't have, as she mentioned, D- ass is shaking on your Instagram live. You can't do that. So yeah, Paul Pierce he'll be hired at some point, probably by Fox, or he might go the route of like HBO, like doing what Stack and Matt Barnes are doing, something like that. I don't know, but I mean, I'm personally fine with it. I mean, I don't watch ESPN anyway, but I mean, it's a better place now with Paul Pierce no longer employed. Sorry, Paul.
Big ass thing. Anything to say? Throw some D's on him.
Speaking of D, that's what he was smoking, CBD.
That too.
Smoking that good old CBD. That's what they thought. Like, the strippers ain't naked. I got a clean cut, and I'm smoking CBD. So ESPN won't fire me. I tried.
You trolling for real? Yeah, you trolling.
Yeah, you're bored. You're kind of bored right now. But bring us back to the light too.
Right. Before you bored, you got this one.
Speaking of coming back to the light, shout out to my Panthers for coming to the light and getting a quarterback that's actually gonna throw the goddamn ball. How about that? So my Panthers. Let me pull out my notes real quick. Panthers traded a 6th round this year. 2022 second and 4th rounder for Sam Darnold, who at first I was like, because we kind of went for Sam Bradford earlier. Deshaun Watson, his situation getting crazier, and I still kind of want him, but I didn't want to go into the season starting with Teddy Bridgewater. So for us to get Sam, so like I said, somebody to sling the ball, somebody that got good rapport with Robbie Anderson. Like, I like the move. I'm gonna definitely trust y'all. Y'all probably know a lot about more about Sam Darnold than I do. But I guess I like the move, and I guess the question I like to ask y'all is, who do y'all see being QB1? Do y'all see Darnold, Teddy, or us using our 8th overall pick of the draft, selecting a quarterback?
Sam Darnold. You don't make a trade like that if he's not the quarterback. I heard a report that they told Teddy Bridgewater that they're going to do right by him. They're going to look for a trade for him to go somewhere.
That, and they already picked up Darnold's additional option, so he's going to be there for at least 2 years. So they're going to see what they got him.
Yeah. So Sam Darnold's there. If y'all picking quarterback, it's next year. Yeah, that's if he doesn't have a good year.
Y'all think it's a good fit, a good pickup?
Yeah,
I'm still like I said, I know it's the Jets. I know it's Adam Gase. We saw Tannehill turn up with the Titans. You know what I'm saying? I seen, but it's still like Sam Darnold still mentally was making some crazy throws that had me like, huh? You know what I'm saying?
He still saw ghosts. I'll never forget that Monday night game. He said he saw ghosts.
At the same time,
but he's good.
That's just the line that the Jets had. The offensive line in New York was god awful. So of course, like, Sam Darnold didn't really have time to really make the throws that you think he would be capable of making. At least now in Carolina, he's going to have a better offensive line. He's going to have weapons with CMC, Robbie Anderson, and then whoever they decide to use that 8th pick in the draft on. I think they're looking at right now. They're looking at Kyle Pitts from Florida, which will be even greater going forward.
That's what I want, man. That's what I want.
Yeah. So I think he's going to do well in Carolina. I honestly would have loved to have traded for him if I'm Pittsburgh. If we have done the obvious thing, and that's let Ben walk. But hey, we're here now, so we're just gonna roll with everything as it's looking. So, but shout out to y'all for that move, though.
Y'all didn't give up much. I mean, 6th round pick this year and the 2nd and 4th next year? That wasn't nothing. And to me, you look at the Jets record. So I think the more concerning me is his injury history. Because with the Jets, when he was on the field, I mean, 1 year they won 7-9, and he had missed 7-9 games. And when he was on the field, they were 7-2.
Yeah, they lost every game he didn't play. They're like 0-10 without him. Like, they don't win.
Yeah. And that's because of his offensive line not protecting him. So again, that could be a reason for his injury history. So, but we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, and let's not forget. No, you're for good. Let's not forget Sam Darnold in the past, was it 2018? I think was still a number 3 pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. Like, he was highly sought after. The Jets had to get him because they had a losing season, and that's what they got right for that losing season. And Sam Darnold has produced as best as he could. on the flip side of this, we talked a lot about the offense of the Jets. Let's also talk about the defense. Defense ain't stopping nobody. So Sam Darnold has to be put in positions where he's throwing the ball miraculously and trying to get things to happen. He doesn't. Le'Veon Bell really wasn't, there. Yeah, I think there was a year where Frank Gore was there as well. So he hasn't really had the talent that he's about to have receiver-wise and running back-wise in Carolina. Along with, I believe Carolina has a better defense than the Jets have had over these years with him there. We can definitely say the coaching. That's hands and feet and everything above that. So this is really just put him into a good position. And now that he's going to be like in his late 30s, like trying to find a good job, like this is a great pickup by the Panthers, if you ask me. And you don't lose your top 10 pick this year for him, right? And so you can still go and find something that you need. And to me, I think it's the offensive line. It would be a great concern or a great thing to do. And who knows what you'll get for Teddy Bridgewater too, and putting him out on the trade block. I'm sure there's a team maybe in the Midwest where it's a little bit colder that could use another quarterback, another backup quarterback, I guess, to lead their team. And they could probably give you something for him. But do right by Teddy, to be honest. But I love the trade for Sam. He's got his weapons. And you build around him and really put a team together that's really about winning. I think the Jets were really more about the spend money. And you look at a lot of their off-season signings, like they signed linebackers for like huge amounts of money. But what did that equivalent to? Didn't equivalent to a winning season at all. They were just spending money because they had to, right? And the Panthers are very different on how they structure their money. So yes, put him in this position. Let's see him work this out now. And let's give him some time. And I think at least the 2 years, like you guys said, is a great enough time. And if he doesn't work out, again, you lose what picks? Nothing in the first round and nothing really, I mean, maybe a second round pick, but nothing that's going to be, hey, Sam Darnold isn't working out. We need a quarterback in the first round. You guys definitely still have your first round picks that you can still pick someone else from that. So kudos to you guys. Look forward to a great season.
My 2 cents about it real quick is that I've watched a lot of Sam Darnold games and like you can tell it's like, yeah, the Jets are trash. So prime example, last year we played Jets and y'all know we won 4 games last year. Like, well, this wasn't last year, this was the year before last year. But either way, we weren't good anyway. But we had like 10 sacks against the Jets. And Darnold didn't play, but again, 10 sacks, 3 turnovers. It was like insane. And we should not have been winning that game. So they literally didn't value O-line and they haven't hit on any of their draft picks. Le'Veon Bell, it's just so much has happened. And people, like I said before on Twitter, that have left Adam Gase, go on to greener pastures. And like I said, he got Robbie Anderson again. And beyond that, he got coaching, dog. He got Matt Rule. He got what's the offensive coordinator's name? I forgot. Came from LSU.
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Like he gonna be okay. And we saw the Panthers really, in my opinion, overachieve last year with Teddy Bridgewater, who's an okay quarterback, but he doesn't really have talent. Darnold has talent, like Sheedy mentioned. He's a top 3 pick in his draft class. 6'3", 230. Like, dude, he got talent. And you saw his highlights. He got talent. It's a matter of putting him in a position to be successful. And I think that the Panthers have been a stable franchise for as long as I can remember. They've been in 2 Super Bowls. They've drafted well. They have pretty decent players historically. And so if they're going to do right by him, the Jets have not been relevant since I don't know how long. I want to say Brett Favre when he was there, I guess. I don't remember. So, but yeah, the Panthers going to be all right. I love this move for Sam Darnold. I said before, I feel like somebody's trade for him and give him a chance. And so I'm glad to see that I get a chance to watch Tukes Panthers a little bit more because I'm on Sam Darnold's bandwagon. So I'm with it.
Well, come on to the Panthers, brother. The overachieving Panthers, as you said, which, hey, man, I don't know if you saw my PowerPoint back in the day, but we ain't win the game within a touchdown. So, I mean, I had on that one. But real quick, I wanted to ask y'all the football experts. A few years ago, I guess a couple years ago, A.J. Bouye was arguably a top 10 corner in the league. We just signed him. Where do y'all rank him, and do y'all think that was a good pickup as well?
It was a pickup.
Yeah. He kind of over the hill now, man. He kind of over the hill. It's like it ain't Houston and Jacksonville no more. He like, I say this. Somebody mentioned that y'all gonna draft Kyle Pitts. I don't think he lasts until 8. Personally, I think y'all should either get. I feel like y'all should draft one. I think y'all should draft one of 3 players. is one, if Panay Sewell is there, get you a left tackle, like period. Just get you a left tackle. And his pro day was ridiculous. Or two, get you either Surtain or JC Horn because you need a corner. You need a corner in that system, dog. Like a young corner, like Josh Norman type player. Like you need somebody there.
Yeah,
I think Pitts will be there. Though.
Yes, Sheedy. Y'all not getting.
I know. Y'all still gonna have y'all pick Sheedy.
I think Kyle Pitts will be there. Though. Pitts will be there.
I don't think so. I think he is.
I think he gonna be young.
I don't think he may pass Miami.
Well, we have our mock draft.
That's true.
A couple weeks, 2 weeks. A live mock draft show. It's gonna be all mock draft. We'll discuss all that in 2 weeks.
Hey.
All right. It's been a while. Who's bored? I want you bored.
No, I'm chilling. I'm drinking water. You know, I'm chilling.
I'm feeling too.
Yes, I know we talked about it on Starting Five, and if you guys, be on the lookout for that on Monday. But ESPN is bored for this top 25 under 25. Yeah, if anybody's bored, all the NBA insiders at ESPN, yes, please just load this up here.
I can't wait to hear Savage.
Yeah,
we need you to go, bro. We had a whole war on Starting Five.
Yeah, so you gonna start with Savage.
War's a little over, but it was
okay. So I guess my question would be, what was the war, or who was the war about, aside from Ja obviously being 15 below Junior? And
my thing was Ja Morant is top 10, but we couldn't decide who to take off.
Okay.
Yeah, like we had LaMelo. You know how I feel about LaMelo.
A lot of us said LaMelo Ball, and my reason was everything LaMelo Ball is doing currently, Ja Morant did last season.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
And my opinion was I didn't understand the criteria because you got a lot of these players like Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and Jamal Murray who's done in the playoffs, but then mixing in players who haven't even. They should have not did 25 under. They should have did based on 3 years or less, 4 years or less. Because there's a lot of these players who been to East Conference Finals, but you got players like Zion who averaging the points, but ain't got nowhere. But it's just the second year, so it's kind of hard to gauge.
The way that I would view it is which one of these players is most conducive to winning, no matter their circumstances. So. Off top, Zion for me, I haven't seen him winning. Like I've seen a on paper, quote unquote, inferior team in the Grizzlies compared to like the Pelicans, who have had Drew Holiday, who have had Brandon Ingram, who've had Lonzo Ball, who's had players that should, in theory, be good, but they're not. And so, in my opinion, I see Ja Morant impacting winning more than a lot of the players on top. So, like, if I'm picking my top 25, I mean. I'm still kind of iffy on Luka as far as him leading the team to winning because his team is like 7th right now. And that might be because of injury, but still it's kind of like, I don't know yet, but I'm okay with him being the top player. And that if that's the case, Mitchell or Tatum should be next in line because Mitchell has done in the playoffs. He's proved me wrong as somebody that called him Eric Bledsoe on brand. But yeah, he's proven me wrong.
That's great.
I ain't look down. Yeah,
that is great. We ain't look down. Hill Bridges over DeMont. Ooh,
wow.
Yeah, and like
that's disrespectful.
Like De'Aaron Fox has not, and that might just be Sacramento, has not impacted winning at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking down some more. Junior is a 3rd or 4th option on the team. He's not a number 1 option. But yeah, this is an interesting list. Anthony Edwards.
Savage, let me ask you this because I'm happy she brought up Tatum, and that was actually mine. I think Trevor's wanted to bring off of Ja Morant, and that was really because.
And I'm not.
Yeah, she was against it, and I get it, I love it.
I really wasn't.
Like, no disrespect, but when you, as of right now, when you look at the way that the Celtics are playing basketball, 1, they're underachieving. 2, I don't think Brad Stevens is doing a good job, and 3, based on potential, when is Jason Tatum actually going to reach that point? And I think they're playing with Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker. He's not going to be able to reach that potential. That's why I don't think he's going to that top team.
I think he reached it. I think he's where. I think he's as good as he's going to get.
I agree, Shark, because I feel like I don't know what else he can add to his game to go. I mean, defense maybe. He's not really a good defender. I mean, he gets rebounds because he's long and he's lanky, but it's like he can score 50, but they still find a way to either win barely or like. I feel like Tatum is like his idol Kobe in that he's at this point in his career he needs that dominant like big man with him, which is why Danny Ainge should have undrafted, but should have went and tried to get Anthony Davis with them, because I feel like they're both not like alphas, but they will complement each other where you can have an inside out combination. And really, Tatum need to play 3, man. They got him at the 4. Get to that wing, bro. Like, I'm tired of you playing 4. But I like Tatum a lot as a player. I just feel like something is missing from Boston. Like Brown might have to go in order to get a big man. I love Brown. Brown is my guy. I think Brown better than Tatum, in my opinion. Like, if you ask me who I want, Tatum or Brown, I want Brown all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, give me Jalen all day.
Tatum needs, like, I'm trying to see what's a comparable situation. Like,
hey, with somebody that don't need the ball a lot, and you got 2 players that's playing with you, like Jalen Brown, love his game, and Kemba Walker, who's a shoot first point guard, like, you can't reach your potential Tatum with those players with you, like, you can't. And then coaching, like I said, Danny Ainge could have had Anthony Davis. He literally had a handful of spades at one point. He didn't play a single one, and now y'all looking like hearts. Now y'all looking like hearts and clubs. Like, he fumbled the bag on. He fumbled that.
They with Meek Mill on the trading deadline, and I get him on. So if you haven't had a chance to go read it, it's in my pinned tweet on my page at the Art of Trevor. So go check that out.
So,
but yeah, like
part about, go ahead, Savage.
Well, I was saying, as far as like John Morant, there are times where I get not frustrated, but I guess kind of like, do what you're doing with Ja is that like bro, you can impact the game so much if you just pick and choose your spots, when to be aggressive, when to be, I'm gonna say passive, because like I feel like Ja Morant still has an impact on the game even if he's not scoring, and that to me is like that's that Chris Paul effect. Like, you might not see him doing much on offense, but when it's time to go, he gonna. Like, one thing I love about Ja this year is that he's attacking the basket with purpose now. Like, he's taking contact and like actually finishing at the rim and not doing those wild pass out of shot things that he was doing last year in the bubble. And so that's what I see. I'm looking at every player on this list as far as like who's impacting winning. I think Luka is. I think LaMelo did, just based on the fact that the Hornets were competitive in the East, which is not as strong, but still, I mean, the facts are the facts. Donovan Mitchell, yes. Tatum, I'm kind of iffy about it right now, but he's done it historically. Fox, no. Ben Simmons, he's struggling a lot lately, so I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Booker has CP3 right now, which I'm more about CP3 than Booker, so I think it's more about Chris Paul than him. Bam, we know about Bam. Shea Glizzy, I think Shea is more about, last year was about Chris Paul, but we got to see them, like the Thunder, they're like Boston right now. You got picks. What you doing with them now?
They lost 7 straight, didn't they?
They're shaping out. Yeah,
he's been in the lineup too. So it's
I think Shea deserves to be in the top 10 though. I
love Shea. Shay's there.
I love his game.
I'm telling you, when I make my return to 2K, that's the deal.
And then
when I make my return to 2K, that's the deal.
BI don't really impact winning for me, as somebody who's watched him many times. He don't impact winning at all. He's a number 2 or 3 option. Jaylen Brown, man, put Jaylen Brown anywhere else. That's all I'm gonna say. Jamal Murray, he impacted winning last year. MPJ is a 4th option. Not worried about him. John Morant
should not be ahead of John.
Yeah, should not. Yeah,
should be ahead of John.
Another point.
Or Trae Young.
That disrespecting Trae Young too. I know we don't like him or care for him, but 16, bro, come on.
Yeah. Trae Young's better than that. Mikal Bridges, 4th, 5th option. Sabonis. Indiana is. I think Indiana would have been way better last year if they were healthy. And I like Sabonis. He got some more growing to do, but he's gonna be all right. Who has the Sabonis? I can't see because Tanner in the way.
Here you go.
Edwards ain't worried about Edwards. Aiden ain't worried about Aiden. Halliburton ain't worried. Yeah, everybody else. Yeah, it don't matter. So yeah, I mean, I would reorder this list and make it more about who's actually making a positive impact on winning. Because I said it before, anybody can put up numbers on a slaw team. Anybody can do that. I can do that. Like I can put numbers on slaw team and be straight. But are you having a positive impact on actually winning the game? I actually want to see like what are like the win shares for like certain players. Like how do they impact winning? So I actually might do that as a project just to see and then make my own top 10.
Yeah, I think that you can even think about that top 10 as being like who are your like top 25 under 25 number 1 option.
Right.
I think might be the better way to phrase this because that is more helpful. And I think Sam is still one of those people. I think I know you glossed over De'Aaron Fox, but I've seen some Kings games, and I've seen him be more of a dog than I've seen out of John Morant. I'll be very honest. Like when De'Aaron sees that his team needs him, there is no one on the court that's going to stop him, no matter what. There's no one on the court, and I've even watched him even put up numbers against. I think it was the Nuggets, and that's when Joker dropped that 50-point triple-double. De'Aaron Fox was going bucket for bucket. He didn't care if he had 50 points. De'Aaron still had like 30 that night.
Yeah, free De'Aaron. Free him, man.
So yeah, I believe it. I agree. He needs to go because he's under who? Luke Walton. That's the problem. So like, part also is just about like, you know, who you under coaching and everything like that. And for Jason Tatum did well with who? Not with Kemba Walker, not with Kyrie Irving, but with Scary Terry. To be honest. That's really where Jason Tatum's game really transpired and went even above where it's at right now. Well, kind of where it's at. So he doesn't need I'm going to score a point guard all the time like Kemba or like Kyrie, right?
Need John Morant.
Should have got Tom Larry. Top 10 Lowry available.
Well, top 10 Lowry was commanding about $30 million a season, so I don't think the Celtics had that.
He's a free agent this offseason. They could have.
I don't know where Kyle Lowry is going to go. But Kemba needs to be done.
Good point.
All right. Anybody else that's bored? Know anything else? It's been a lot of bored things I've seen, but nothing just stood out.
Mainly for me, it was the list. It was that list.
Cool.
Yeah, I had a quick one. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this one. And we don't have to talk about it long at all. Trust me. This is Aaron Rodgers in as you can see, New England jersey. System and MVP. Yeah, I really don't think this is ever. It says, the Patriots and Packers are rumored to be in a trade talk for Aaron Rodgers. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah, you see plenty of. What source was there?
Yo mama's house.
Right.
They just, if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots just re-signed Cam. So
they did. On the trade they're making is for Jimmy G.
Right.
If they do make a trade, because he's been there before, he knows the system.
They're wrong to be trading up in the draft too to possibly take a quarterback, but I don't believe in it. I won't believe it until I see it.
Fake news don't make the list of your boy on here. Gotta be real things to happen. Took what you were showing. We already talked about Paul Pierce. He's on the L of the Monday.
If you don't get his black and mild stuff out of here,
he already said
how many people are viewing that? 315, right?
It don't say, so I don't think nobody was viewing at this point. I think it took a minute for everybody to join.
All right.
Wow.
But that was a great episode, man. Everybody else got anything else? Remember, man, rest in peace, DMX. Follow us on Twitter, LBR Sports 901. Let's be real media, LB Real Media, and follow all the podcasts. Let's Tighten Up is returning Monday night, late night, 9:00. That was pretty late, but
late show.
My guy,
Okay.
my guy, Dom. He couldn't be ready till 9. We need to get on. We discussed some drafts. We doing a mock draft. Our first iteration.
I'm gonna watch that because I think I got y'all for the mock draft. I think I do. Might have to watch.
Let's see. Yeah. So we're doing a Titan. We just got Titans. We're gonna do a Titans one. So, got School Sheet coming up soon. I don't know. Sports still coming up. We still waiting on Last Chance You, man.
I'm gonna skip it, man, because like the technical issues threw me off, and I've been busy with like a lot of stuff, so I can't just sit down right now. So it's coming. It's not over with. It's something is coming. I'm easing into like doing stuff around the house right now. So yeah,
I understand. Let's Tighten Up. Took it back so you do the work last 4 weeks.
Yeah. Hopefully, if all of my stuff, all my equipment arrives this week, I can do my prelude to the draft for Steel City Memphis, which is basically going to be taking our presentation and just putting it in the video or whatever, and then talk about free agency, and then just from that point, once the draft is come and gone, we'll be off and running. So.
Nice. So gonna look out, making big things happen. Like Big T.I. said, big things popping, little things stopping. Yep. Till next time. Peace.
Hey, Black.